I still will share. You'll see on the screen. This is something that Bert and I have been working on. As we like to get as many resources out there to you as possible, and we like to do this as quickly and as efficient as possible. So we try to commit to about 25 minutes. So I'm just an anti-hour long Zoom. And if you follow Bert's lead, if you watch this on a recording, you can hit the halftime and watch it in, what is that, about 12 minutes and 50 seconds if we stick to 30 minutes or 25 minutes?
I think that's right.
So we can put it in a little micro machine voice and go at it. This was derived, we talked about ways, that the main thing that drove this was finding ways to take the parents in the back of the room and get them engaged. And that sounds like such an easy task, but if it was that easy, it'd be happening all over the place. And it's nothing new. It's something that's always been going on. So we want to turn our parents into helpers, and we'll use phrases to try to change words that we've used in the past, like, oh, you need to volunteer, or you need to be a leader. We just want you to help and be involved. So we'll show you a bunch of stuff. And the idea behind all this, it ends up strengthening your program where you have more families helping you and more parents helping you in a better, stronger program. So we like our photo we show here is like, this is what you normally see these days. People sitting there on their phones. I got mine right here, just looking at it. But we want it to be a cohesive group, everybody where they're engaging and having a good time. That's our goal, our vision of trying to get people more involved. And I'll tell you, it's not a single one way to do it. There's no silver bullet. There are bunches and bunches of ways. But I would tell you, it's kind of like the little matrix you see there. It is multifaceted, and it takes a lot of different moving parts to make sure. You can't be the sole person by yourself doing that. Yeah, go ahead.
I'll take it over. The resources are all found on this website there with that QR code there under our Atlanta Area Council volunteer recruiting resources pages. But the key cultural issue is having every parent helps policy in your pack, and find ways that people can get engaged, find ways that people can help, find ways that people can lead and succeed. And the emphasis today is going to be on giving parents plans, because it's one thing to say, oh yeah, we're going to assign jobs and roles to people, including volunteering people. And that is a tool you have to use, but it also fails if you don't give the person you gave a job to a plan so that they can succeed. Because if you just told somebody, go lead a den meeting, but you didn't tell them what a den meeting is or how they could do it, they're going to fail. Fortunately, we have resources that allow you to let your parents lead and succeed through easier ways to lead Cub Scout adventures, and we're going to dive into that a little bit. But first, a little bit about when I got on board. Coming up next month, it'll be 20 years when I became a den leader, probably semi-voluntold, and I asked, so what do you do in a den meeting? And I was given that Cub Scout den meeting program. And I looked at the blanks and I said, okay, I see the different parts of the meeting. What do I do in the blanks? And they said, oh, you'll have to look in and they gave me 8 different books I should get. Read those books and come up with activities and closings. And I'm like, great, that's probably an accurate answer, but it wasn't terribly helpful. By 2010, the good news is there was a set of, a book came out called the Den and Pack Meeting Resource Guide, and it actually gave everybody den meeting plans, like there'd be 8 meetings you could get Tiger done in if you met, as a Tiger den, and it gave you what you would do in each part of the meeting. I will freely admit I like these plans. Why? Because during the recession of 2008, 2009, I ended up rewriting the plans to make them more fun and flexible and build it out a little bit more. It wasn't totally successful, but these were well received and led to the change of the program that came out in 2015, which made Cub Scouting much more hiking, camping, nature, service, initiative games. And that resulted in new requirements and also new leader guides. So those exist. They're great, but maybe too great, because one objective analysis, some might call it constructive criticism, and some of us gave it in the committee that came up with these, was there were too many meetings, especially if your dens don't meet every week. And spoiler alert, most dens don't meet every week. There's a lot of packs that are super successful that have a pack activity and then plus one den meeting, and they're successful. Their families love it. But there's no way that they will have 18 meetings between now and the end of the school year in order to complete all the meetings in those plans. So you'll see in those plans, there's a lot of activities. Like here is the Den Leader Guide, Tigers in the Wild plan, has 11 pages, 3 separate meetings. Some of the stuff is about hiking, which is the centerpiece of it. Other parts are like fun, like doing marbles. I love marbles, but I'm not sure it's terribly relevant. So a tool we came up with a few years ago were streamlined plans, streamlined from those Den Leader guides that gave it to you in one shot, so that if you wanted to do, say, the hiking adventure, you could do it on one, wait for it, hike, rather than have 2 classroom meetings before going out. These are easier to share with parents because they're sitting on individual adventure pages that you can just shoot the link to and parents can read it. It is simpler delivery, so you don't have a lot of extra activities in the gathering time that then the people who show up on time missed out on. And I think best of all, the streamlined plans have prompts for parent participation, so that Tigers in the Wild is now about half as long. And when you look at different parts of the meeting, like here, you can ask a parent, hey, could you talk about the 6 essentials for Cub Scout hiking? Most parents are going to say, I don't know what those are. But if you give them this plan, there they are. They can read it. They can riff off of that. They can just read the plan and be great leaders to the kids in their den. So we're going to dive into this page in a bit, showing you where those adventure pages are. You'll see when we get in there that the adventure website pages will list the requirements. They'll have 3 sets of plans for required adventures, the streamlined plans, family-led plans that originally got written in 2020 when a lot of families were quarantined and needed to do Cub Scouting from inside the home. And then if you want more, because there's a lot of great stuff in there, the Den Leader Guide 3 meeting plans are all there. So let's take a quick dive into some of these pages. And to do that, I will go into the Atlanta Area Council website. Ben, do we have any comments that we need to address from the chat? I think not. So here's the Atlanta Area Council website.
Yeah, I got them muted. Sorry, I couldn't unmute my button. But yeah. So Alicia I could compliment many adventures at the lion, tiger, and wolf level in only 1 meeting, as opposed to, what am I missing? Oh, 3. Sorry, I see it. So yeah, it looks like they're agreeing with you, Bert. You might want to get that on record that somebody's agreeing with you.
It happens more often than you know, Ben.
I don't doubt it.
Okay, so what's the main thing a lot of parents want to be engaged in with their kid? They want their kid to get some badges. They want their kid to earn some advancement. So we have the advancement page. There's a drop down where you can find Cub Scout advancement. And so if you are working with a parent who might become a helper and they say, yeah, I don't know what a den meeting is, we've got a page for that. We've got a page here called Den Activities, and it's going to describe what the different levels are. It's going to give you just a brief overview of what den meeting structure is. It's going to have a video, and it's going to have all the intro and appendix sections of the den leader guides, because those appendix sections and the intro, it's all the same in all the different books. So if you wanted to click this first appendix section, it's going to give you the parts of a den meeting. It'll give you ideas for gathering activities and opening ceremonies and flag ceremonies, and similar information is going to be in the other appendices. You don't have to buy the book. You don't have to scroll through hundreds of pages to get to the section of the guide that you want. It's all there. So let's say you're starting out and you got a bunch of families and they are working on what will be their first rank, the Bobcat rank. We've got in Cub Scout Advancement a Bobcat rank advancement page, and it's got a first den meeting plan that you can use if you like it. And this plan follows the format of the den leader guide and what you want to be doing as you prepare for a meeting, what you're going to need if you're going to put on an activity, what a gathering is, how you might do an opening. And wait, look here, this has a suggestion that you recruit parent leaders. Most any parent could start the Pledge of Allegiance. The kids are going to know it. Almost all your parents, if you ask them to lead the kids in a recital of the Scout Oath or Law, they're going to go, I don't know it. I don't know it. But if you give them this, they'll know all 12 words, and they can probably read that and have the kids repeat it back. This has a concept of doing a talk time where you get a parent leader, not you, get a parent to lead the discussion around the group to introduce themselves. This is the next concept in talk time is maybe radical in some parts of the world, but it's a concept of letting a parent talk with the kids about what should we name our den. So if you have, say, wolves or weeblos, do they want to be Den 7? Or do they want to be the wild and crazy wolves, or the weird wolves, or the wiggling wolves, or the witty wolves? Let them pick a name. Guess what? That's like being a citizen. They are naming themselves. I have a concept here about talking about going to Spooky next month. And this, by the way, this was actually a meeting plan, an earlier version I used with a bunch of tiger moms who said, we don't know how to lead anything. You have to lead the meeting for us. But I got parent volunteers to lead different parts. And my first activity was about fun things we'll do. And I asked a question, what do you want to do when we go camping at Spooky next month? And kids started talking, and I had lined up a parent who could lay down the law to say, hang on a second, if we're going to be a den, don't you think we ought to have some rules about how we act? So it caused that den parent to lead a discussion with kids about a code of conduct, which I conveniently have just a few pages back, so that she could prompt the kids to come up with their rules. Then I had parents who were lined up to teach the 6 points of Bobcat. At home, the parents would do the how to protect your children from child abuse part. But this gave each parent an opportunity to, in a rotation, work with kids so that they could get an introduction to what Bobcat is. And then in this plan, I have a choice. You could either be a crafty den and do start a den history book, or be a wild den and do balloon stomp battle royale. Kids love the balloon game. Parents love the balloon game. Make sure the parents do it too. Then we have a little closing. And when we did this a dozen years ago, 3 of the tiger moms volunteered to be den leader at the end of the meeting because they said, oh, we can do this. So that was critical to give them an opportunity to lead and succeed by giving them the tool that they could use to become a hero in front of their kids. All right. Let's go to the tiger rank. Because each rank is going to have its own page. So the tiger rank page on the Atlanta Area Council website is going to have links to each adventure, the required adventures, then the elective adventures. And if you click, say, Tigers in the Wild, that hiking page, it's going to get you to this resource page that you could share with every parent. All you have to do is copy that URL, send it to them, and they'll see, all right, these are the requirements. There's some that are you got to do, and then there's 4 that are optional, and you pick which one you want to do that's your optional, or do them all if you like. And it's going to have videos. It's got the national videos done by various councils, and it'll have the Spanish language videos where those exist. There's Atlanta Area Council videos, and then there's more videos from Scout and other groups around the country so that you can dive into it and get more information and show it to people who, in many cases, are going to be more interested in being a visual learner and watching a YouTube video than they will reading a plan. But if they want to read the Streamlined plan for Tigers in the Wild, they can click on that at the bottom. It's going to pop up, and it'll have for the meeting what you need, the equipment you need. It's going to have prompts for who's going to do the opening, who's going to lead talk time. After you have your parent talk about 6 essentials, you can have a parent who reads the outdoor code. That's a requirement. Have somebody talk about leave no trace principles, and then go on the hike. And you can do some of these things like talking about leave no trace or the outdoor code. You can do that as during a break on your hike. So it's there. It's a lot simpler. I do include some optional items if you wanted to make it more elaborate, like a scripted outdoor code opening, or doing a game to do the hiking essentials. But if you wanted to keep it simple and let parents be parents and, you know, teach their children, it's right there. So let's go back and I guess I should go forward and point out that the other plans are there, family led. So this is super for if somebody missed your den activity where you did a hike and they say, oh, we want to make it up. Well, you can share the family led plan, which is even simpler and shorter, and say, you can do this in a walk around your neighborhood tonight. It's going to tell them what they need to know about the 6 essentials, the outdoor code, and super simple so that a family can get this done. Let's take a look at another fun adventure, this time Rolling Tigers. It's a great adventure because it's the only one that is a cycling award in all of Cub Scouting. And so it's a great one for the whole pack to do, I think. Once again, you've got videos from us, from Scouting on, from other councils. You've also got links to bike safety videos and bicycle requirements in the state of Georgia, bike inspection tips and maintenance tips so that you can be a smarter cyclist. And for the elective adventures, there's no streamlined plans, but there are simple family-led adventures and the elective adventure from the Tiger Leader Guide. Now you might say, yeah, those adventures are kind of cool, but we really wish we could change it up a little bit. So let's go back to our Tiger page. If you wanted to edit and personalize your Tiger adventures for your Tiger Den in your pack, the Streamlined and family-led adventures are downloadable in Word. You click that, it's going to take you to a download on your computer that I have to stop sharing and now go to my Word and pull it up. But you can copy that to your computer, make it yours, and edit. In this case, these are the Streamlined plans. So you could edit each of the required adventures here, starting with My Tiger Jungle, Games Tigers Play, Team Tiger, Tiger Bites, then Tigers in the Wild. And you can take out the stuff you don't need, like these intros as to what the Streamlined plans are. And you can edit this as to who is going to do what and where you're going to be gathering. And we could just go ahead and decide that, you know, Buckley is going to be the one who's doing our opening, and Alicia's going to lead the talk time. And you can add in, you know, the map of where you're taking a walk. You can add in other information if you have a better, more fun way to do the 6 essentials. It's there for you to edit, and you can make it yours. Let me pause there and ask if there are any questions or comments. And let me also look in the chat to see if there's any that are embedded for me.
Good stuff, Bert. I actually kind of used your Bobcat stuff for we called it a Bobcat workshop a couple weeks ago. It turned out really well. We had about 20 kids that ended up getting their Bobcat. So,
yeah, and there are a number of other Bobcat plans. Let me go back to that resource, because if you go to the Bobcat rank page, it will alert you to this Bobcat resource page that goes to this district website, and it's going to have the requirements, more than a dozen different Bobcat games you could do, and different meeting plans. Family-led, an alternative Streamlined adventure plan, some very short plans that you could give to parents to do at home. We actually did one as a breakout of parent orientation a year ago, where I just handed it out and had the parents learn Bobcat and then teach their kids. They were all in a circle doing it together. So, and again, all of these are in Word, so you can edit it and make it yours. So let's look at some other resources to make parents successful. And one of those is in activities, because one of the best ways to get parents involved is to make it evident to them that things they like to do, they can do in Cub Scouts. So those of you who've been to my training have heard me talk about the pack at Stonewall Tell that got their tailgating dads to do an Iron Chef contest, and their golfing dads to take people to the putt-putt, then the driving range, then the par 3, the fishing dads to take the kids fishing. Same thing here, and this is going to give you a menu of different things that can be fun activities, because if it's fun for kids and fun for families and safe, then it's Cub Scouting. So let's suppose you have, let's say, a mom who's like really into running. That's how she stays fit. Can you build that into your pack program? Absolutely. You can make it with the goal of doing the Peachtree Junior road race next spring, so that you all are doing that together. And this page on the Atlanta Area Council website under activities is going to give you ideas about how to do those. You know, if you want to do nature, it's going to give you some ideas about places to go, things to do that are fun, like scavenger hunts. It's also going to give you, from time to time, links to where you might do it. So this is going to be a link to, I think I've got it. Nope, here we go. This is a page called the Great Big List of Places to Go and Things to Do Around Atlanta. And it's similar to the activities page on the Atlanta Area Council website, but it's built around what you might do in different activity topics. So for example, if you want to do a field trip and you're thinking, okay, field trip, we do that at, if we're going to a nature destination, that's the Atlanta Zoo. Well, actually, yeah, Atlanta Zoo is right up there, but there's so many other places you might go that are nature places that why limit yourself, especially if you went there last year or the year before. So this could be a great opportunity where parents might look at it and go, yeah, why don't we go to this new place? And if you haven't been there before and it's fun and it's safe, like, you know, you're not going to do, you know, any parachuting or skydiving, that kind of thing, go for it. Let's see, other cool pages on the Atlanta Area Council page for program planning. Let's look at activities. They've actually put together a program planning guide that I think is going to get fleshed out a little bit more, that will highlight, this is for both Cubs and for Cub Scout packs and troops. It'll highlight advancement events, training events, program events, where you have the opportunity to go and do things. And it's going to be broken down month by month so that you'll see what options you might have to participate in positive activities that you may have parents who want to really get behind. And if they browse this menu, they may find things that they want to say, hey, let's get our kids to go there. And that can be great to get them involved and be leaders. So let me see if there are any other questions here right now. And if not, I'm going to dive back into the end of the slideshow. Any questions?
Bert, I was just going to talk while you were looking for that things to do page that you were showing. I'd use that for my personal life when I'm looking for different activities. Keep my wife happy. Keep going around. She drags me all over the city.
Absolutely. I mean, ultimately, that great big list of places to go and things to do is not one I started. It was started in what was then the North Atlanta district, now the Phoenix district. And I look at that as my personal bucket list. So, and you should too. So any questions from the audience here? So I'm going to put up the reminders we have every time we do this. You know, do your best, keep it simple, and make it fun. And this is from Bill Smith, a hero of mine, that the best thing you can do for a Cub Scout is get the parents involved, because we're not here to just make fun for kids, you know, a couple hours a month. We are here to build stronger families through scouting, and that's by getting the parents to be involved with their kids and be heroes when they're leaders. So we've got some upcoming episodes. We know what we're going to do next month. We're going to talk about recognition of helpers and leaders and ways to do that and do it over and over again. And in November, we're going to talk about succession planning. We have a variety of topics that we will follow it with in December and beyond, and we may drop some bonus episodes in the meantime. And that is our program for this evening.